I wanted to start a series of videos on artificial intelligence and how to prepare for the inevitable consequences of that improved technology. Um, so as far as my background, I'm registered in a couple different fields, but one in a former life, I did work as a software engineer for International Business Machines. So I do have a little bit of background in the computer science software realm. And I think, so I have kind of followed this and I have a different perspective on it. So if you go and look at a book, it's called The Mythical Man Month by Frederick Bauer, I think was his name. In that, Frederick defined in fairly clear terms the inefficiencies associated with scaling up in terms of person power on a project. And the notion of a man month, when you're in project management and you're basically planning for a project, you need to have an estimate in terms of how many people need to be involved with that. So let's say you have a project that takes 50 person months or man months. What the book Mythical Man Month did is it showed clearly and in good mathematical terms that if somebody comes in, let's say upper management says, hey, you have this 50 person month or man month project, you have 25 people assigned to it, that's going to take 2 months, I need it done in a month. So the manager goes and says, well, hey, let's double the number of people attached to this project, so let's make it 50 people for this 50-person project. We'll have it done in a month. That's the logic that a lot of managers follow. And what happens is there's an inversely quadratic relationship in the inefficiencies between the size, or efficiency, I guess, in the size of an organization and its efficiency or its ability to move on a project and get something done. So let's just think about that. So if you have a large project, a lot of different moving pieces in it, and you have to have communication on all these little moving pieces that are assigned to this given project. Well, as the number of people on that project, the project itself grows, the number of people on the project grows, the inefficiencies become staggering in terms of the communication aspect, in terms of collaborating on a project. So that's the principle behind it. You see a lot of companies like Intel, IBM, for instance, is the classic example, dominant in the 1980s. They grew, they become really fairly inefficient. Xerox, another classic example, cutting edge technology, but after growing for a while, they stagnated a little bit. AI introduces a new concept here in terms of, I'm just looking at operations management. And the people that control AI, for instance, Alphabet, the parent company of YouTube as well as Google, they have cutting edge AI. One advantage, and there's a lot of advantages that we'll talk about in subsequent videos, but just for this one advantage is, let's say within a team, you have to have 30 minutes of inter-team communication or intra-team communication. Well, in the realm of AI, you're going to drop that to 30 seconds. So what that means, you're going to significantly change management in terms of how projects are governed. You're going to have the ability to literally grow by orders of magnitude in terms of the size of the different things that are being managed. So picture Alphabet, YouTube, Google, whatever. Let's picture Google. Let's use search engines. There's 3 dominant search engines. There's one in China, one in India, and one in the United States. Google is the one in the United States. Now, there's lots of smaller ones clearly in the United States. But with artificial intelligence, you're going to be able to scale the operations up to a point that you're going to have the first time in world history truly global corporations. Dominant, massive corporations. So we're on the cusp of seeing something significant in terms of $100 trillion, quadrillion dollar companies. That's going to be forthcoming. And what that does, it's a little frightening in several ways, because that concentration of wealth in the hands of few means, they have economic incentives to disenfranchise populations. And I think that's only going to be exacerbated because of the nature of the resources that these corporations are going to have. And I don't know a good solution to that. We're going to be benefited by improved services, improved goods, lower costs for what we purchase. But the power we're relinquishing in the name of those efficiencies, it's a little frightening to think about. So yeah, I just wanted to point out this the Mythical Man Month. We're going to see significant scaling of operations globally. All this is going to happen this decade. I don't want to get into automation right now. I will talk about that, but just keep in mind Elon Musk's statement from, I don't know, 5 years ago that by 2030, there's going to be about 3.1 million driver jobs lost because of automation. Now, those people in this era of automation and artificial intelligence, it's not simply a matter of retooling these individuals. Similar with the scalability aspect of big corporations. So what do you do with all those individuals that have a skill set that are simply incongruent with a technological age? So the lesson number one in terms of having to prepare for that future is to develop a skill set that is genuinely marketable. It's something that I did. I saw this coming. I see this coming. I went out and got another Master's of Science degree in my 50s in another engineering field. So I was retooling as well as some other stuff. But I see continual improvement in arenas that society needs as vital to our success, for our ability to support our families in the future. So the basic level of income, the BLI has been proposed. I'll tell you, this is my fear. These rich people, the quadrillion level dollar companies that are coming, and they will come because of the scalability issue. If we can't contribute something within their minds, do you really think those individuals want us on their backs? And long term, what does that mean? Well, it means that if we have no value in terms of our ability to contribute, and 90% of us are on BLI, have a BLI from the government, they're going to say, why are we, big corporations, why are we doing this? And that kind of jeopardizes our safety and security. So in any event, retooling ourselves, I think, is the best way to cope with this changing environment. Being independent, obviously, doing our best to minimize our debt, be food independent. I think these are smart solutions. And I just wanted to share those concepts with you. I think it's an important strategy moving forward. In subsequent videos, I'll talk more about some other things in terms of how AI can manipulate populations, how in certain subgroups, very micro groups, can be targeted based on existing data. Some of the data associated with Snowden's revelations, as well as, let's consider Taibbi's documents, the Twitter files, showing clearly that there is collusion between the federal government of the United States and media corporations. And by every definition, that's fascism. So we're in a unique situation. I think it's worth probing those and understanding those in terms of how we can be prepared for the future. Hey, thank you for your time. Hope you have a good day.